Hi, my name is Steven and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my top 5 successes in life, biggest impact from my life successes. In last week's video, I talked about my top 5 failures in life, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my successes. And just like with my failures, we can learn a lot about our successes as well, so that we can build upon our successes in life with confidence and more ease. As someone who values personal growth and development, I believe that it's absolutely essential to learn from our mistakes and our successes. And with our successes, it is essential to break down what made us successful in the first place, and looking deeply at the habits and traits that allowed us to become successful. This method has definitely helped me to overcome hurdles and barriers throughout my life. And I also hope to highlight some of the ways that my successes have helped me to shape the rest of my life. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about my background, my top 5 successes, and my general thoughts. And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, hit that notification bell if you like this content. And let's do this. Although I don't learn as much from my successes as I do my failures, they still help me to understand why I was successful in the first place. And what were the keys to my successes so that I can repeatedly do it again in the future. Because once you have that data point for success, you can build upon it. When I was growing up, success just didn't come easy for me. This was because I didn't have a lot of mentors or role models guiding me to what success looked like. I just didn't have the tools, the knowledge, and guidance at that time. My parents, although hardworking and gave me the bare necessities, they just didn't equip me with how to be successful in life. They didn't understand American customs or how to be successful in an American culture. This meant that as a child and as a teenager, I needed to figure out how to be successful myself. And during this time, it was a lot of trial and error for me to be successful in any venue in my life. Because success to me at the time was having a goal and being able to hit it. And in my early life, I really struggled with what my goals were and how to even hit it if I had goals in the first place. The tide really turned for me when I started to get older and my knowledge about the world increased. This meant that I listened and was more observant about the world around me, taking in knowledge and guidance from other places rather than the people around me, often asking strangers, friends of friends, or teachers. I ultimately learned to be really good at recognizing patterns in life that contribute to success. And it helped me to connect the dots of what it takes to actually be successful in life. This skill set has helped me continuously, even to this day. With a base set skill of listening, observing, and being curious, that has helped me to become successful. And that has helped me to get more and more successes under my belt. So here are my top 5 successes in life. Number 1, finding my passion. I think that one of the ways that really helped me to be successful early on was knowing my passion early in life. This meant that I was hyper-focused on achieving my near-term goals to get into STEM fields. I had a goal and I was less distracted by other things in my life. And I was able to channel all my time into this particular focus so I wasn't distracted by any other career aspirations. I knew that STEM fields was the path for me and engineering was my ultimate goal. Had I been more choosy with my career path, I would have had multiple majors in college and took a longer time to graduate. And ultimately, I might not have ended up liking what I ultimately chose. I really regard this as a success because ultimately, if I chose a different career and then I backtracked, I would have lost a lot of time and money. This success is also measured in the time saved by doing something else in life. And this also gave me the satisfaction of knowing what I wanted to do, at least in the near term for my career. And knowing this early on in life gave me the freedom in my 20s to pursue other things that I didn't as a child. Because in my 20s, I could have been choosing a different career path, but instead I can focus it on fun and other activities and hobbies. So I think finding my passion early on in life was a big success in my life that has paid dividends to this day. Number 2, moving out. A defining moment in my life was when I finally moved out of my parents' house at 23. This was the first time that I considered myself an adult and responsible for my own actions in life. Leaving was a big success in my life because I no longer had to deal with curfew, incessant arguing, and criticizing of my choices in life. This ultimately gave me the freedom to do what I want, when I wanted, and how I wanted to do it. But this success really didn't come easy because I had to have a job, a place to live, and a forward-looking path in order for me to get out of the house in the first place. I knew that I couldn't fail because if I did, I would have to move back in with my parents. So I really had to plan and prep my finances to be able to move out for a very long time. And during this time, my parents gave me a lot of rationale of why I shouldn't move out in the first place. But if I did, I wouldn't learn valuable skills being independent from my parents. And those skills gave me the confidence that I needed for other aspects of my life. And this confidence stayed with me when I moved to San Francisco and then ultimately Seattle. This success has made a lasting impression in my life, so if you ever have the chance to move out of your parents' house, take it. Number 3, leaving on a jet plane. Leaving LA was ultimately one of my greatest successes in my life. If moving out of my parents' house proved one thing, moving to a different city proved to me another. And this was that I can really control my life and dictate the direction I want to go. It gave me the permission I needed to run a grand experiment with my life, and that is to survive in another city alone. When I got the job offer in San Francisco, I had no idea of how my life would have turned out. I thought that when I moved to San Francisco, it would be a few years and then I would come back to LA at some point in time. I never thought that when I moved to San Francisco that I would not want to go back to LA ever again. I count this being successful in having the ability to adjust to a new hometown and learn to love living there. You are forced in many cases to start completely over, and it was the best experience in my life. Because it's very hard to uproot yourself and start completely over. I know, I've done it twice. But going through that experience personally means that now I'm able to jump to any new city and know exactly what it takes to start over, and use my skills in adaptation and exploration to ultimately make that my new hometown. And ultimately trusting my gut to be able to go into a situation and figuring it all out. So moving out of LA was definitely one of my top successes in my life. It gave me the confidence that I needed to live anywhere in the country if I so choose to. Number 4, learning to learn. Although this is more of a catch-all than a single success, learning to learn has been one of my greatest successes. And because of this learning success, I'm able to apply it to a bunch of different things that I have no business being in, such as running a business, doing YouTube, and doing improv. The common denominator is that I'm able to pick up new skills as I see fit. The ability to learn something new is a very valuable skill that I honed over time. As I was listening, observing, and being curious about things, it helped me to learn something. I realized that those were the keys to learn something fast. Using those, I applied it to different hobbies and activities that I was doing throughout my life. This has given me multiple successes in different areas of my life and has a big impact to the quality of my life, because I'm able to learn things outside of a school setting and apply it to my career or other things in my life. And these various different skills pop up and can help you in your life when you least expect it. I'm a core believer in lifelong learning and picking up as many skills as possible throughout life, because over the long term, it can greatly advantage your position in life. And overall, it can make you more interesting to other people when you're telling your life story to others. So learning to learn effectively has been one of my top successes overall in my life. And number 5, finding the one. As my wife's and I anniversary are coming up, I would be remiss not to mention it as part of my successes in life. Without a doubt, finding the one has been one of my greatest successes in life. And now that we have a child, that success has only multiplied since then. Although I will say the journey was not easy at all to get to that success. Being shy and introverted in my child and teenage years didn't help me attract a mate at all. I had to upgrade and refine my dating skills all throughout my teens and 20s. And after improving myself, I hit plateaus, and then I have to stay at those plateaus for a while and then improve upon that to get to the next plateau. It was a long, drawn-out process for me to get ultimately better at finding a spouse. And it took me honing in on many other skills adjacent to dating skills, because ultimately I had to improve the person I was and become more interesting. And even after that, I have to go on multiple dates over and over and over again to actually find the one. Success to me was very sweet at the end, and it was a long time coming, because ultimately I poured countless hours into personal growth and development for myself. And even though I did find the one, my journey doesn't stop here. I'm still constantly improving our relationship, because being married and staying married is still a difficult journey with lots of ups and downs as well. And you have to work at the relationship day by day in order for you to become successful at it. This success has taught me that you have to find someone that's compatible and that you can live with them for the long term. And that just because someone looks good on paper doesn't mean that they'll be a good match for you for the rest of your marriage. So finding my soulmate has definitely been one of the greatest successes in my life. So here are my general thoughts about my top 5 successes. As with any success, I try to look for the root cause of it to make sure it's repeatable in the future for me. If I'm successful, I want to make sure that I can be successful again. I just don't want it to be a stroke of luck or a fluke. This means that I want to know exactly what the keys were to me being successful in the first place. Because if we don't examine why we're successful as well, we won't know what is causing our successes. And if we don't know, we might not be able to do it again in the future. I think the impacts from my successes are very wide-reaching for me. If any one of those successes didn't happen, my life would have turned out very differently. And there's a certain amount of confidence that I gain from my successes that I can take with me into the future, into the next circumstance. Because ultimately, I want to be able to push through any hardship that I endure in the future and be successful at whatever I undertake. And that I know that I'm capable of more than I actually think I am. And also, it's okay to sometimes take that big risk and chance it on yourself. So those were my top 5 successes in life. When we look into our past at our successes, we can learn something from them. They can help us identify the keys to our previous successes, the traits, skills, or habits that play a part in why someone was successful in the first place. This was definitely the case for me. My successes from the habits, traits, and skills that I have crafted the person I am today. A person that can ultimately battle through hardship and struggle where it presents itself in my life, and build upon that confidence of success in the next phase or hardship in my life. So I hope you're able to gain some insight into my successes and how they crafted the man I am today. So thank you for watching. Please leave a comment down below on what was one of your successes and how has that changed your life. And I'll see you next time.